Hello guys! Welcome to another Rob tutorial series. Today, I will be showing you my workspace, the material I use, introduction to color theory, and basic watercolor techniques. But before we start, please do like and subscribe to this channel. For the materials, let's start with the watercolor. Watercolor comes in form of tube or pan. And by the way, if you're planning to try watercolor, you don't have to buy the professional grade. You can practice with the student grade first, then upgrade to a better one later. You can start with a set of minimal color first and just learn how to do color mixing. Don't worry, I will be showing you how to do it later. For watercolor in tubes, I use Reeves, which is a student grade. You can also use palette containers that comes with whole or half pan to store the liquid color. For watercolor in pans, you can easily activate it with water. Some brands come with free water brush, just like Sakura Koi. Make sure to do swatches so that you'll know the real color when applied to a paper and how it behaves with water. Oh, another thing. I also use Finetech pearlescent colors for additional metallic effect. Next one is water container or jar. I use 2 jars of water, one for cleaning the brush and one for the color wash. I also use foldable water container for traveling. I also use ceramic palette for mixing colors. I got this for about 90 pesos. You don't have to spend much for this. Just find any alternative that will work out for you. One of the most important material is the watercolor paper. It can be in form of cold or hot pressed and rough paper. This one is a cold pressed. The texture is visible on the paper. Hot pressed looks smoother and flat. Rough paper has more visible texture. I suggest you get the 300 grams paper, because it can hold as much water and it doesn't get damaged easily. But you can also practice with 200-gram paper. And it is available in different sizes. You'll also be needing some tapes to hold the paper straight all the time. I also make use of a sturdy board where you can tape the paper and keep it straight as you paint. Next are the pens, pencil, and eraser. I make use of any graphite pencil for the sketches. Then kneaded eraser because it erases gently and it avoids the paper from getting damaged. Then pens with different tip sizes for detailing and white pen marker for the highlight. It is mostly used in portrait paintings. For the brushes, I use student grade brands. I have different sizes of flat brushes, angle brushes, filbert brushes, round brushes, fan brushes, fine brushes for detailing, and water brushes. You can get these affordable brushes in packs online. It is important to know color theory for you to learn how to mix colors from basic colors to tertiary or any other color. Let's start with the basic color: yellow, red, and blue. Yellow plus red is orange. Blue plus red is purple. Yellow plus blue is green. And that is secondary color. Now, let's mix secondary colors with basic colors. Orange plus yellow is amber. Orange plus red is vermilion. Purple plus red is magenta. Purple plus blue is violet. Green plus blue is teal. Green plus yellow is chartreuse. And those are tertiary colors. Colors which are opposite to each other are complementary colors. When placed next to each other, creates the strongest contrasts. Now, let's proceed to basic watercolor techniques. First is the flat wash. Apply paint evenly to paper to create a background or layer. When it's dry, you can make 2 or more washes, depending on your desired opacity. Next one is the graded wash. The wash usually begins with a darker or more intense amount of watercolor paint. As the wash moves on the paper, water is added to the paint mixture to gradually lighten the paint as the wash progresses. The next one is a 2-color wash. It is actually 2 graded washes that meet each other in the middle of the painting surface, pushing each other and mix. Next is glazing or crossover. It is often called laying down a wash. A layer of transparent color is washed over a previous dry layer of paint. Next is wet on wet. Applying wet paint on a wet paper. I usually do this when I paint portrait, because wet paper distributes the paint evenly. Then, wet on dry. Applying wet paint on dry paper. I usually do this when detailing a painting. Next is lifting color on wet paint. To lighten or remove color while paint is still wet, use paper towel to wipe or tap gently on the area you wish to lighten or remove the paint. Lifting color on dry paint. To lighten or remove color that has dried, brush your damp brush on the area you wish to remove paint from. Wipe the color onto a paper towel and repeat until the area is lightened. Drops on wet paint. Using your brush, drop small amounts of water onto the wet paint for additional effect. Sprinkle. Use the brush or toothbrush to sprinkle paint onto the paper. Best effect for stars or galaxy. Dry brush technique. A paintbrush that is slightly dry but still holds paint is used. Load paint into the brush. Remove excess paint using paper towels. Then paint it on the paper. The resulting brush strokes have a characteristic of scratchy look that lacks the smooth appearance that washes or blended paint commonly have. Best used for creating grass, sea, feathers, and sky. And lastly, masking. Use a masking fluid to cover small areas and fine lines where you want to prevent painting. Dip your brush in the liquid solution. Do not use your best brush, just the cheap ones, because masking fluid damages the brush. Then, apply masking fluid and allow to dry. Paint over the dried masking fluid with as many layers of paint as you need and allow to dry again. Remove the masking fluid by gently rubbing it off. So, there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something new today and enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and see you again next time.